all you're doing is just knocking off the crust. Just knock the little bumpy parts off. All right, same piece of 800 on a sanding block. Again, just wetting it down. We're gonna get right into the fender beading right there. So just fold it up on there. And again, all you're trying to do is knock off the crust. Once it starts sliding on the surface and you don't feel a lot of resistance anymore, then you've probably done enough. There, you can hear the difference right there. It's a little crusty right here, so we're gonna knock this down a little bit more by hand. This is just regular water, a couple drops of dish soap in there. I think it's Dawn. Now we're gonna hit it with 1000, do the same thing. Just keep it wet so you don't burn out your paper. We're going to do the same thing with the sanding block. Hit it with 1000. Again, once you stop feeling resistance, or it just kind of sounds different, you'll get the hang of it. Then you know you're good to go. But just touching it, it feels pretty damn good. And it'll be ready for some cutting compound here in just a second. Obviously, you want to do a nicer job, you do it with the bumper off and the taillights off and everything like that. But since Chameleon Fest show is tomorrow and I forgot this fender, YOLO. All right, so that's a fender after 800, then 1000, and quick little spot drying. I'll hit it with some compounding. All right, Meguiar's heavy cut. The little gauge here on the side tells you how coarse it is. This is extra heavy cut, so this is about as gnarly as our stuff gets. And then this is on a foam pad. This is a real dense pad. I wrote coarse on the back, but it's kind of a stiff pad. So it's really just get in there to grind the material away. And then this Harbor Freight multi-speed grinder, orbital. It takes 2 hands, so I won't be filming that, but it works great. Okay, so that's after about 2 or 3 minutes using the random orbital buffer. You got a pretty decent shine out of that you could just wax and preserve. But since we got a lot of bare metal, we're gonna have to do something different. So I'm gonna knock this last little section out real quick. All right, so this is after a quick TR3. Then I use this stuff called Wolfgang. It's a synthetic sealant. That 1% of turquoise paint that I've still got left keeps it nice and shiny. So that's the TR3. Sometimes it's tough to get on Amazon. If you're in California, you can get it on eBay though. They'll ship anything anywhere. Then this Wolfgang synthetic sealant. That just seems to be a little stronger than wax. It'll last you a little bit longer. All right, now we'll get after that bit of bare metal. All right, so for the bare metal, I'm going to be using this stuff called Rust Prevention Magic, or PM. You can get it on Amazon as well. I don't have much left, but I'll show you what's in the container. So it's like this waxy paste. Smells pretty good. You heat the surface of the vehicle with a heat gun, and then you dip a little paintbrush into the RPM, and you actually brush it on and then melt it into the pores of the metal. That's how it seals it up. So this will end up looking like that in a couple minutes. I'm gonna need both hands, so I won't film it, but I'll show you kind of a before and after in a second. So we've got the heat gun set on high. Keep it moving, because as you know, you can bubble your paint, you can do all kinds of damage. You could blister your fender welt. So the more the car is disassembled, probably the little better it is. All right, I've got a little bit of that RPM on my brush, and this should be warm enough here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So you see it just kind of melts in there like kind of a hot butter situation. Brush it smooth and then kind of blow it out, because you want to flatten the grooves on it. You're going to buff it afterwards, but that just saves you a little bit of work if you can work out some of the brush strokes. Again, you're dealing with a hot heat gun, so you're going to burn yourself. You're going to burn the bristles on your brush. Yeah, do that already. But that's just part of the game. Preheat your panel, start brushing it on. There we go. And while it's still kind of warm, you can take a paper towel or a microfiber or something. You just want to try to knock off the excess wax. There's still plenty on there. We'll polish that up in a minute after I've got the whole panel done. All right, there's the after on the panel. That's a lot of shine compared to what it was. All right, and I can keep going and going on this, but I'm tired, so I'm done for now.